Everyone, we've all been there. Moments when life feels uncertain, like we're wandering aimlessly, searching for meaning, for direction. It's easy to feel lost, to believe that we're stuck in a maze with no clear way out. The world can feel overwhelming, and in those moments, doubt creeps in, questioning whether we're on the right path. But I want to tell you today, even in your most uncertain moments, God is leading you. You are not alone. We're often taught that finding our way is something we must do by sheer willpower, through logic, through rigid plans and structures. But there's another way, a way that's more powerful, more freeing, and it doesn't come from our own strength. It comes from something greater, something that's been guiding you all along, even when you didn't realize it. Imagine for a moment stepping away from the constant noise, the expectations, the pressures, the distractions, and tuning into a deeper rhythm, a force that's been there all along. It's the quiet, subtle nudging that keeps you going, even when your mind tells you that you're lost. This force, the divine presence, is not separate from you. It is you. It's woven into every moment of your existence. In fact, you are an expression of it, a manifestation of something far bigger than your current circumstances. That's why when you feel lost, it's really an invitation to trust that something powerful is unfolding beneath the surface, even when you can't see it with your eyes. Let's take a step back and look at this from a different perspective. What if you're not lost at all? What if the very fact that you feel uncertain is a sign that you're in the process of transformation? That you are growing, evolving into a new version of yourself, even when it doesn't feel comfortable. Trusting that God is leading you means surrendering to this process, even when you don't have all the answers. You see, the human mind is constantly searching for certainty. We want to know the path, the destination, the outcome. But God's guidance doesn't work like that. It's not about a straight line from point A to point B. It's about the journey, the unfolding of your life moment by moment. Sometimes that means taking a detour, exploring unfamiliar territories, and stepping into the unknown with faith. But here's the key. Every step is part of the plan. When you feel lost, it's not a sign that you've failed. It's a sign that you're in a space of growth, a space where new possibilities are emerging. It's when we step into uncertainty with faith that we open ourselves to miracles. Because ultimately, God's guidance doesn't come from an external map. It's encoded in the very fabric of who you are. Your intuition, your inner knowing, those moments when you feel a sense of peace or a gentle nudge, those are God's whispers leading you forward. So when you feel lost, remember, you are being guided. Every decision, every pause, every seemingly random encounter, and every detour is part of the divine plan for your life. You are exactly where you need to be, even if it doesn't feel that way right now. The path may not always be clear, but trust that with every step you take, you are being led exactly where you need to go. When we release control, when we stop trying to force outcomes, we create space for God to work. This is the power of surrender. The willingness to trust that even in the uncertainty, even in the unknown, you are being guided with love, purpose, and divine intelligence. In those moments of doubt, remember, God is leading you. Trust that the journey, however winding, is unfolding for your highest good. Embrace the unknown, knowing that you are not alone. The path ahead is unfolding perfectly, and you are exactly where you need to be. So, take a deep breath. Let go of the pressure to figure it all out. You don't need to have all the answers right now. Trust that God is leading you. Every step you take is part of a divine dance, and you are moving in the direction you were always meant to go. Trust that God's guidance is always present, even in uncertainty. Often, when we find ourselves in periods of confusion or doubt, it can feel as though we are wandering aimlessly with no clear direction ahead. The discomfort of not knowing what's next can create a sense of panic or fear, but this is precisely when we need to remember that God's presence and guidance are constant. Even in our most uncertain moments, God is at work, leading us in ways we may not immediately understand. When we trust in God's guidance, it's important to recognize that His plan is not always obvious at first. The path we are on may not always feel comfortable or familiar, but it is in these times of uncertainty that we are being shaped and molded into who we are meant to be. Rather than looking for immediate answers or trying to force our way, we are called to have faith that God is directing us, even when we cannot see the full picture. The feeling of being lost is not a reflection of being abandoned. It's often a sign of growth, a sign that we are being led to something greater. In these moments, we are invited to listen more closely, to pay attention to the subtle whispers of guidance that often come in quiet, unexpected ways. It could be a gut feeling, a moment of clarity, or a random encounter that shifts our perspective. When we trust that God is leading us, we open ourselves to receiving His direction. Even in the most uncertain of times, feeling lost is often a sign of transformation, not failure. It's natural to assume that being lost means something has gone wrong. We've made mistakes or failed to follow the right path. When we find ourselves in situations that challenge us or make us question our direction, we are actually in a process of transformation. The discomfort and uncertainty that come with feeling lost are indicators that something within us is shifting, evolving, or being redefined. Transformation rarely happens when we're comfortable. It occurs in moments of struggle, confusion, or when we are pushed beyond our familiar boundaries. These moments, though difficult, are opportunities for us to shed old ways of thinking and being, and to make room for something new. The feeling of being lost is simply the transition from one stage of life to another, a moment when our old selves are giving way to a new version of who we are meant to be. When we experience this, it's easy to panic and think we're off course, but this is often when God is doing some of His most important work in us. We may not understand why things are unfolding the way they are, but the process of feeling lost is a necessary step in aligning ourselves with a higher purpose. It's in these moments that we are called to trust, to lean into the uncertainty, and to embrace the fact that transformation is unfolding. This is not a failure. It is a sign that we are being prepared for something greater. Surrender control and allow the divine plan to unfold. One of the greatest challenges we face in life is the need to control our circumstances, our future, and the outcomes of our efforts. We often feel as though the more we plan and organize, the more we can ensure success and avoid failure. However, true peace and growth come when we surrender the illusion of control and trust that a greater divine plan is in motion. This doesn't mean abandoning responsibility, but rather recognizing that not everything is within our ability to direct, and that some things are better left to the wisdom of the universe. Surrendering control involves letting go of the need for immediate answers or outcomes. It's a shift in perspective, allowing ourselves to believe that we don't have to know exactly how things will unfold. The divine plan is not always linear or easy to understand in the moment. There will be twists and turns, moments of confusion, and even setbacks that challenge our understanding of what's happening. But these moments are not signs of failure. They are part of the process. By releasing control, we create space for God's will to lead us, even when we don't have all the details. It's important to understand that surrendering control doesn't mean being passive or indifferent. It means actively choosing to trust in a higher purpose, even when we can't see it clearly. By stepping back, we allow God's plan to work through us in ways we couldn't have imagined. There is a peace that comes with knowing that, while we may not have control over every situation, we are being guided and supported every step of the way. Surrendering control allows us to flow with life instead of resisting it. Trust the journey even when the path isn't clear. Life doesn't always present us with a map that lays out the exact route to take. There are times when the path ahead seems uncertain, when we don't know what's next or where we're headed. It's easy in those moments to feel frustrated or anxious, wanting to see the end result, to have the answers now. But trusting the journey means understanding that not everything is meant to be known in advance. There is a deeper wisdom at work, one that unfolds in its own time, and it's in those moments of not knowing that we must learn to lean into faith. When the path ahead feels unclear, we are often in a space of transition, of transformation. It's not always about having a perfect blueprint or a clear step-by-step plan. Sometimes the beauty of the journey lies in its unpredictability. The steps you take today, though they might not seem to make sense in the moment, are guiding you towards something greater. Trusting the journey means allowing yourself to experience life as it comes, to embrace the detours and the delays, knowing that they are all part of the bigger picture. The absence of clarity does not mean you are lost. It simply means that the next step hasn't fully revealed itself yet. Even in times of confusion or struggle, the journey is still moving you forward. Every experience, every decision, and every pause is contributing to your growth, even if you can't see it right away. Trusting the journey means having confidence that each part of your path, no matter how unclear, is leading you exactly where you need to go. You don't need to have all the answers today. You only need to trust that you are being guided. God's guidance is woven into your intuition and inner knowing. Often we search for signs from the outside world, looking for clear instructions or external validation to guide us in making decisions. We wait for someone to tell us what to do or for a loud, unmistakable sign to point us in the right direction. However, God's guidance is often much subtler than we expect. It resides within us in the quiet, still moments when we tap into our deepest thoughts and feelings. This inner knowing, this intuition, is not random or coincidental. It is the voice of the divine whispering to us, leading us toward the choices that align with our true purpose. Your intuition is a direct connection to God's wisdom, a silent channel through which divine guidance flows. Sometimes it may feel like a gut feeling, a nudge in a certain direction, or an inexplicable sense of peace when making a decision. These moments are not to be ignored, for they are often the most direct communication from the divine. Trusting your intuition means learning to listen to those inner promptings, those quiet nudges that arise from within. Begin to pay attention to these subtle signs. We start to recognize them as God's voice guiding us, even when the path ahead is uncertain. It's easy to doubt ourselves, to second-guess the inner wisdom that arises, especially in a world that values logic and reason above all else. But God's guidance doesn't always follow the logic of the world. It follows a deeper wisdom that may not always make sense to the mind, but leads us to exactly where we need to be. Learning to trust this inner knowing requires faith, and with faith we can begin to move confidently in the direction we are being led. Every step, even detours, is part of your divine purpose. Life has a way of surprising us with unexpected turns. Just when we think we have everything planned out, a detour appears. Something unforeseen that takes us off the path we thought we were meant to follow. In these moments, it's easy to feel like we've gone off course or that we've somehow failed. But these detours are not mistakes. They are part of a bigger divine plan, and often they are exactly what we need in order to grow and move closer to our purpose. Detours can feel frustrating, especially when they force us to confront challenges or uncertainties we hadn't anticipated. However, they often bring us exactly what we need to evolve and expand. These moments may provide us with valuable lessons, new perspectives, or opportunities we would not have encountered otherwise. The path we envision for ourselves is not always the one that will bring us the most fulfillment or growth. Sometimes we must venture into unfamiliar territory to find what we truly need, even if it doesn't feel comfortable at first. Trusting that every step, even the detours, is part of your divine purpose means embracing the idea that every experience has value. Nothing is wasted. Every moment, whether it feels like a setback or a leap forward, is shaping you, refining you, and guiding you toward the person you are meant to become. These moments, while they may seem like interruptions, often lead us to opportunities that align with our true calling. Trusting the process means recognizing that even the unexpected, the unplanned, and the seemingly wrong turns are contributing to a greater plan that we may not fully understand in the present moment. Embrace the unknown with faith and openness. It's easy to feel comfortable when we can see the road ahead, when we know what to expect and can plan accordingly. But life is rarely that predictable. There are times when the future is uncertain, when the next step feels unclear, and the path forward seems shrouded in mystery. In these moments, fear often creeps in. The unknown can be intimidating, and our instinct may be to shy away from it, to hold tightly to what feels safe and familiar. Yet it is in embracing the unknown with faith and openness that we allow ourselves to truly grow. When we face the unknown, it's an invitation to trust something greater than ourselves, to believe that there is a purpose unfolding even when we can't see it.
Yeah.
Faith is not about having all the answers. It's about trusting that even in the uncertainty, we are being guided. By approaching the unknown with an open heart, we allow ourselves to remain receptive to the possibilities that await us, instead of being paralyzed by fear or doubt. The unknown is not a threat, it's a space of potential, a space where transformation can take place. Having faith in the unknown means letting go of the need for control and being willing to walk forward, even when the outcome is unclear. It requires a willingness to surrender to the process and trust that the universe is leading us toward exactly what we need. The unknown may feel uncomfortable, but it is where new opportunities, new experiences, and new understandings are born. It's where we stretch beyond our current limitations and step into the fullness of what we're capable of. Embracing the unknown with faith is the key to discovering what lies beyond our fears and limitations. Miracles happen when you step into uncertainty with trust. Life often unfolds in ways that we can't predict or control. The journey is rarely linear, and there are countless moments when we find ourselves on unfamiliar terrain. In these moments of uncertainty, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or afraid. However, it is precisely in these moments that miracles can occur, when we let go of our need for certainty and step forward in faith. When we step into uncertainty with trust, we open ourselves up to possibilities that we could never have imagined. Miracles are not just grand, dramatic events. They are the small, seemingly ordinary moments when things fall into place in ways that we couldn't have orchestrated on our own. Trusting in the unknown invites the divine to work in our lives in ways that transcend our own understanding. By embracing uncertainty instead of fearing it, we make space for unexpected blessings and opportunities to enter our lives. The act of trusting, especially in times of uncertainty, is a powerful choice. It is the willingness to take the next step even when we don't know what lies ahead. This act of faith creates the conditions for miracles to unfold. It's when we let go of the need to control outcomes that we often experience things falling into place in ways that seem almost miraculous. In those moments, we realize that we were never alone. We were being guided all along. When we trust the process, miracles emerge not because we control the outcome, but because we allow the universe to guide us in ways that we could never have imagined, leading us to experiences, people, and opportunities beyond our wildest dreams. You are exactly where you need to be right now. Life has a way of unfolding in unexpected ways, and often we find ourselves questioning whether we're on the right path. We compare ourselves to others, wondering if we've fallen behind or missed the mark. We may feel lost, unsure of our next move, or frustrated by the lack of immediate progress. But the truth is, you are exactly where you need to be. The experiences you're having, the challenges you're facing, and the choices you're making are all part of your unique journey. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that we should be further along, that we should have achieved more by now. Society often pressures us to measure success by external milestones, and when we don't meet those expectations, it can feel like we're failing. But the timing of your life is not the same as anyone else's. Your journey is personal, and each step you take, no matter how small, is leading you to where you need to go. There is no universal timeline that applies to everyone. What matters is the process, the growth, and the lessons you are learning along the way. Even if you don't have all the answers right now, even if the path ahead is unclear, trust that you are exactly where you need to be. The experiences, people, and lessons you encounter are all aligned with your higher purpose. You are being prepared for what is to come. There is no need to rush the process or force things to happen faster than they are meant. Embrace where you are, trust the timing of your life, and know that each moment is leading you closer to the fulfillment of your divine purpose. Let go of the pressure to have all the answers right now. Trust in God's time. In a world that values speed and immediate results, we often feel a constant pressure to know what's next, to have everything figured out, and to be in control of our future. The constant quest for certainty can leave us feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, and anxious. We want to plan every step, set every goal, and ensure that we are always moving forward. However, the reality is that not everything can or should be controlled. There is a deeper wisdom at play, one that operates according to a timing far beyond our understanding. God's timing is not bound by our human concepts of time. The moments we think we should be moving forward may not yet be the right time for the next step. We may be in a season of preparation, growth, or learning, and the clarity we seek will arrive when the time is right. This doesn't mean we are stagnant or that we are failing. It simply means that we are being led to the next phase of our journey in a way that is purposeful and deliberate. We don't need to rush the process or force things to happen on our timeline. When we let go of the pressure to have all the answers and trust that God is working behind the scenes, we create space for peace and patience. We allow ourselves to live fully in the present moment, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Wow. Trusting in God's timing means understanding that the right answers, the right opportunities, and the right moments will come when we are ready for them. It's not about knowing everything now. It's about having faith that what is meant for us will arrive in perfect time.